in that number, we know the game, we live the hunger in that number, Gaz and Ben, it gets us stronger. Every chat, every call, every story, we want it all in that number, rugby hearts.
Welcome back
Hello.
to Thursday Night Live on the In That Number podcast, myself and Ben. I forgot to put the post out on social media, so if anyone comes in, it'll be a bloody miracle. But hey, listen, it is what it is.
That's what it is.
Right, small matter of Wigan away, Ben. We got the effort that we were looking for from both the fans and the crowd, to be fair.
Yeah, it was definitely what all you could really expect, with the injury list, the bad form, your coach going the day before, away as well. Never good losing to Wigan, obviously, but I think when you consider all the context surrounding the game, I think you have to at least be partially satisfied, like you said, with the effort at least, and with how they showed up, and the way they attacked at times. Not seen that for quite a while this season, which is something to build on. That's been the big thing we've struggled with. Robertson looking really good at standoff, and
very good.
I think the fans sent a good message, because people kick off and boo if you put that type of effort in that you did against Toulouse. But I think it's important to also show the players it's not just booing just because we lost. There's a way to lose, and I
feel like that scoreline's flattered Wigan a little bit as well, if I'm going to be completely honest.
It did a little bit, but yeah, I think the fans sent a really good message out, where it was like, listen, we're not just going to boo you just for losing. We appreciate the squad's a mess. You just need to give that effort. They gave it. They got the plaudits from the fans, because that's what we need to see every week.
Yeah, I would say it's not the losing games that we can handle that. It's the manner of how we lost that game.
Yeah.
There's no effort. There's no fight. There's nothing.
Yeah.
We had a good reaction against Catalan, but I think I say we had an even better reaction against Wigan.
Yeah, this was definitely better. We still had a bit of a, Catalan was a little step forward. This felt like another step. I think with a lot of players back with that type of effort, we'd have had a very good chance of winning that game. So I think that is a good sign. Going into what is a really, it's a tough running last 7 games, fighting for a playoff spot, which is a source of pride at the club. People have said in Super League here we've never missed the playoffs. I've done a bit more research, and I can't find a single season in the history of British Rugby League that has had a playoffs, because it's always switched from playoff to top. It's switched multiple times throughout the last 100 years.
Playoffs and Super 8s and all that carry on.
And even, there was a period in the 60s, 70s where there was playoffs, and then they switched it back to top of the league. Or, as far as I can find in our entire history, I could be wrong, but as far as I can find, trawling through the internet, we have never missed a playoffs ever, not just in Super League, ever. So that is a source of pride. And you'd like to think that, they'd give it their all, even though there's a lot of players missing. There's quite a few that are out for the season. Don't have a realistic chance probably of going on to win the grand final from 6, but I think that's a good enough source of pride that they should be fighting just to get in there, just to keep that kind of, that little factoid, keep it going. It's like a consolation. With such an awful season, you want some sort of consolation. You want something to go and look at next season and go, right, there we go. We're building on something. So, yeah, so it's good signs for what's to come. I think probably going to need to win. Obviously, it's very varied. We've still got 7 games, and there's Lee and Hull KR, which are going to be the main rivals for the last 2 spots. I think we'll probably need to win 4 or 5 out of 7 minimum to probably get in. So, at least we've set ourselves up nicely for what hopefully will be a good run-in starting on Saturday, but we'll have to wait and see.
And obviously no disrespect to York. I mean, we know they're a good outfit when they're all fit, but it's a very winnable game, isn't it? I mean, we should go there and get a result.
Yeah. They're a weird team, York, as well. It's a strange team.
They're never out of a game, though. They never know when they're beaten.
Yeah, losing to Huddersfield the other week, but then other times this season they've beat like top 6 sides. So you don't know what you're going to get. You would think, looking at the squads, even with our injuries, to be fair, I think we should be expecting to win. I don't think this is one where you can scrub injuries as an excuse. I think there's enough there, in that team, and I think performed like we did against Wigan, against York. Again, I know it's a different game, but if we perform the same, you'd imagine we should win. You imagine we should, but obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest inclusion there for me is Alex Walmsley being back in the team.
That's massive. The amount of props we've got missing. Like
I would definitely put Campbell back. Definitely put Campbell back in his at wing. To be honest,
I think you've got Lees and Delaney out for the season. Loads of Noah Stevens out for the season. Most of pretty much all our first choice props are all out for the season, bar Walmsley. So the poor lad, he's already probably carried it a bit too much as it is. He's going to really, he's going to really have to carry that pack now. He's going to have to, really put some gargantuan efforts in, which he's more than capable of because he's had a good season when he's played this year, Alex. So that's a massive for us in the props because, I don't think DSF or host disgraced themselves in any way playing front row.
No, definitely not. No.
But they're not top quality front rowers. Like you'd like them as rotation on the bench. I mean, host.
You bring them on like half an hour.
Yeah, and host, to be fair, isn't even really a prop. So tip my hat to him because he's doing a really good. He's doing great work. Considering he isn't a prop, and like I said, DSF, an absolutely fine player to be your first prop off the bench after 25, 30 minutes. Yeah, I think from what I've seen so far, I think you do that well. But you need a bit of extra quality and Alex brings that bit of extra quality to the front row, especially starting a game, which is really important as well. Like you don't want to be having to play catch up, and Walmsley helps us establish a front foot early in the game too. With Campbell, I mean, I would have kept him in against Wigan, but now that Murphy's had that game, I actually kind of think you probably actually want to keep Murphy in because his confidence will be shot. Dropping him, first he shouldn't have been put in that position. We said this, we talked about this last time at the Challenge Cup. I think the same thing happened where we've done it twice to him this season, where he's come back from a long injury and we've just put him in against Wigan. Don't know why we keep doing it to the poor lad, but now that it has happened, though, I think you kill his confidence even more if you then drop him for something that. Right, it is his fault, but it's not entirely his fault. The club shouldn't have put him in that position. So I think with York being a very winnable game, he's not opposite. He's not going to be opposite a top world-class winger. I think that's a game that Murphy can build some confidence back, to be fair.
Yeah, this is the game he should have come back to.
This is the game he should have come back to. But I think, Campbell, did nothing wrong against Catalan, but he's not an out-and-out winger. He's a full-back who's doing the usual. What you usually do with the young lad, you usually start them on the wing if they play in the halves of the backs and they're not a winger. I do think Murphy has shown glimpses, before his last unfortunate injury where he was looking like a really good finisher and he is a winger. I think you give him one more go. I think you give Murphy, you go, right, okay, forget last week. It was tough. You got thrown in at the deep end. You had a bad game. Is what it is. This should be a game where Murphy should play well. And if he can't play well on Saturday, then I would say, right, we're going to have to look at bringing Campbell back in. Because there's you can excuse last week. I don't think you could excuse that performance again on Saturday. So I'd give him another chance. I'd give him one more chance and let him right that wrong against the team where he should be able to do that. Hopefully, you'd think.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the York lineup here, and conspicuous by the absence there is John Bennison.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Up a knock at the last week or not, but
yeah, I know. To be fair,
brought in Matty English.
Yeah, brought Matty English. It's a good signing for them. I mean, I was going to mention that a bit later in like later on before the end. But I tell you what, Huddersfield.
Oh no, sorry, no, he is there. My bad. He is there.
What are Huddersfield playing at
Benison.
with Matt English? What's that all about?
I mean,
The
he's
lads
not,
in his
he's
the
not
lads
the
in his
centre world delight.
the lads in his testimonial year. You're not exactly. You don't exactly have a great prop to replace him. It's not like, oh, we've got this other lad who's well better than Matty English. They don't have anyone in that squad, and you ship him out on loan in his testimonial year.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
I mean, I think that's pretty shoddy from Huddersfield, but
It's naughty, that, innit?
that is. And like I said, it's not like, you know.
Oh, we've only had Matty Lees for what, 3 games
Yeah,
this season. That's not anyone's fault. It's just injuries.
I mean, yeah, I just think it's baffling. But anyway, that's Huddersfield talking about Saints. Anyway, Huddersfield are a basket case on and off the field. Could talk for an hour. Could talk for an hour about Huddersfield, couldn't we, this season? But
Yeah.
right. So Benison's in. So you'd imagine Benison would be opposite Murphy if I'm getting the wings right from what I remember Benison playing last time.
I think they both play 5, don't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure Benison not play right wing his last couple of games. Murphy played left, I think. I think so.
I think I've seen more. We've seen more of Benison on our left wing, didn't we?
So I think at York,
whether
I'm
he's
sure at
switched him
York
or not.
though. Yeah, I'm sure he has. I'll have to look it up after. I'm not going to do it now that we've started, but
Okay, he's a player that I always liked.
Yeah, he's had to earn his place too, because beginning of the season he wasn't a starter on that wing.
Yeah,
wasn't a starter on the wing for York. So I think it's through injury that he's got in, but he's done a solid job,
kept his spot,
and he's kept his spot. So I think that's very encouraging. For him, to be fair, I think he's
nice
a
to see
solid
him
player.
doing well.
Yeah, he's another one. Great attitude. Doesn't ever disgrace himself. And we can't underestimate players like him.
He never kicked up a fuss when he weren't playing.
No, you can never underestimate players like him as well. He's not all right. He's not Zach Eckersley or Bevan French, but he'll punish you if you fall asleep. If you don't turn up, he's got enough to punish you. As with a lot of those York players, you need to turn up because they're not so bad that you can just cruise through a game against them. You need to, they are where they are in the table, but that's when teams treat them seriously and treat them with respect, and we've got to do that for all the players that they've got.
I mean, you've got Paul McShane there as well. I mean, okay, we can say he's getting on. He's what, 39 now.
He is, yeah.
But he can still do a job. You know what I mean? He's lost his feet or his legs. He's got a lot more up here.
Yeah, he's a clever player in and around the ruck, and with all our forward injuries, I think that comes back to what I was saying. That Walmsley really needs to be switched on, not just carrying the ball, but also defensively, because the one big criticism of the Wigan game, and even at times the Catalan game, is that we've given up too many meters, and it's understandable why, because you've got like 7 forwards injured or whatever. So not having a go, but the fact is we've given up a lot of meters every set to both Catalan and Wigan. Like both of them are walking down into our half.
And the amount of offloads we gave Catalan.
Yeah, as well, yeah. So and York like to play that type of way if they get a roll on, so that's something we've got to remember. But I think Walmsley's physicality, just his size and his strength, he's going to have to do a real heavy shift trying to slow them down in defence. We all talk about his ball carrying with Walmsley, but he needs to be switched on defensively. It's going to be big for us because McShane is very wily around the ruck, and if we're lazy around the ruck, he will take advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know who it is. So at the open day earlier, there was at the end, he done the circle, and a young lad was doing his initiation, his song basically. So he must be getting a debut, and I just can't think who it is. But it looks like we're going to get another young lad playing.
I think Billy.
He looked like a forward. He's very young, but looked like a forward.
Forward. I'm trying to think. Is that not Billy Keeley?
It may well have. Yeah, I think it might have been. Yeah, but he's a back row.
Yeah. So, yeah, be interesting to see. Obviously, the bench. I think think you'll get Matagi back on the bench. Maybe you get someone like Akili maybe as well. Looking at the squad, I think there'll be another young bench on there definitely. Looking at the squad that's out there for Saturday.
Well, speaking of which, we'll walk it off now. I've made a complete mess of that, but I was supposed to put Walmsley in there. I was coming back, but I forgot. Another prop forward going for the season though, and George Delaney. Jed Cartwright living up to his reputation. And, it's a shame for him, but young Matty Evans taking a bit of a knock as well. I think it was a HIA. So
it was, HIA for him.
So.
And Cartwright. I mean, we all knew his history, but you can't help but feel it's not. He doesn't do it on purpose. And you saw him at the sideline at Wigan on the cameras. Oh man, he looked absolutely furious with himself. Like it's not his fault, but he just looks so peed off on the sideline. It's now been confirmed we did loan him to the end of the season, and I'm going to say, I know we're trying to, there's been a little bit hints of positivity that we're trying to turn this around a bit, but it's got to be said that is a horrendous decision from the club. Why would you not just do it week by week or month by month, and then wait till the end of the season to see if you want to sign
how identity gone, Ben. That's why.
But I don't understand why you would. Even with bodies, people saying, "Oh yeah, we were low on bodies." Oh yeah, we were. But you can do a rolling monthly contract. You can do a week by week. You don't have to do to the end of the season. And we knowingly signed an injury-prone forward to the end of the season. Yeah. And now, if he was on loan for a month or 2 months or whatever, we could have sent him back to Hull now, and they could pay for his recovery, and they could be dealing with him. And instead, we've got to. So, I think that's got to be mentioned. That's another corker of a decision from the club. I don't know why they've done that.
Yeah, it looks like they're sticking with the spine as well of Wellesby, Robertson, and Hastings. Because when I was watching the training, Taylor was training at centre, and he seems comfortable enough there. So I'm not really fussed on that. I think one that I do want to talk about, Jacob Douglas.
Very well.
He's got his chance. I mean, he's not scoring 2 or 3 tries a game, but his work ethic's there. He's getting himself, like we said last week, he's putting himself in the game. He's not just standing out there. He's coming inside. He's doing what he needs to do, and he's defending all right as well.
It was a similar story. He got one decent pass all game for his try, and he took it well. We just, for whatever reason, we're not favouring that side a lot. We're heavily favouring. I think it's because we're trying to get Saylor on the ball at centre, but we heavily favoured the opposite side. Listen, with a winger,
Saylor seemed to be training on his side,
so that's interesting. That is interesting.
He sort of moved between the two, it looked like, but I don't know if he's going to do that in the game or not.
But with Douglas, listen, a winger's one of them where you are at the behest of your teammates a little bit. You need to be given good ball. And if you don't get it, you can't really say they've played bad if they're not scoring or making breaks. Because I don't think I didn't notice one moment where I thought he should have made a break there or he should have scored. I didn't notice a single moment like that. He just wasn't getting past the ball a lot. When he did, he scored. But once again, he don't throw a strop about it. He just puts his hand up. He's carrying the ball well. And that's a big part of the modern game, is giving you forwards a rest on those exit sets from the other team's kick. And it was. And we don't have the Percy and your Makinsons of years gone by that would make you loads of 10, 20, 30 meters. And he's not a huge guy, Douglas. And you know what? Fair play. His numbers are pretty good. He's making some good, some really good meters with the ball. And he doesn't look like a huge imposing figure or a very strong guy. But he's punching well above his weight. He's doing that dirty work. Like massively doing that dirty work, and that's all you can ask for when a winger isn't given opportunities. All you ask for is that you defend well, you take the ball in as much as you can, go looking for work as much as you can, and he does it. He's got great attitude. He goes looking for work even if he's not getting a lot of opportunities. Took his try very well, and I think there's a player there. I don't think you drop him no matter what. Now at the moment, I think he's absolutely number one winger. Easily.
As Aidan's saying here, our best winger this year, and considering he's played a handful of games, I mean, that's saying a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I said, I agree. He's our number one winger now. Could change, because Could change with form and stuff, but right now he's our best winger. I say that.
It does remind me of a very young, raw Tommy Makinson, the way he carries the ball.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, don't want to put pressure on the lad by making that comparison. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
say, young and raw Tommy Makinson.
I just love to see him get some. We just need. And to be fair, he's also played on the side where there's a second rower playing centre. So, like, you can understand why we're going down the other side a lot, and you can understand why. Jacob Douglas isn't a centre. He's not Jamie Lyon. He's not going to put a step on, find a tiny bit of space, and send Douglas up down the wing. That's not his game. That's not Jake Davis's game. You can't have a go at him for that. So I think that I'd love to see him with like a proper centre next to him, because I think with a proper centre next to him, with how he's been playing, I think you'd see a bit of excitement from Douglas, and I look forward to that. Hopefully, at some point, eventually happening. I would even say, when Dagnall's back, we all know his natural position centre. Do you have Dagnall next to Douglas? I
won't mind it. I don't. Do you know what? I mean? Honestly, I don't know what's going on with Percival, if I'm going to be honest. He wasn't at the Open
Percival, Well, he's apparently 2 weeks away, according to the press conference today,
I mean, I understand Delaney not being there. He literally just came out of surgery yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But the likes of Dagnall, Whitby, Clemmer, they were all there. All the injured players were there, apart from Percy, I think.
Apart from him, fair enough. But that's another shout, Percy's back in a couple of weeks. And I'd just love to see Douglas get a chance, with a proper, winger centre next to him. We
called this beginning of the season when we signed him.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It was one of the things I was a bit confused about with some of our performances this season. Why he was just not getting a chance, and why it got to the point where I think we had to have like almost every single winger injured before Rowley eventually played him. It was a bit weird, but he waited. He was patient. By all accounts, from what I've heard, never kicked up a fuss. Good attitude. Waited longer than he should have, but he's here now, and he's very quickly cemented himself. You can just tell there's a bit of pace and excitement there. The first time that he gets put in some clean space, he's going to be gone. I can tell you. I just can't wait for that moment, because I think that'll also give him loads of confidence. I think we're just waiting for that. We're waiting for that Regan Grace away at Wigan moment where he just switches, he goes to that next level. And I think you get more injuries back. Our attack looked a bit better last week. Let's hope it improves a bit more. If this attack improves a bit more, you get Dagnall or Percy next to him. I think there's something to look forward to. There's quite an exciting possible future for him at the club. So
this is why I'm glad that Eamon O'Carroll's interim now, because he'll be around the playing group more than the actual head coach, won't he? From being assistant, because he'll be doing more hands-on stuff. So he knows what's going on. He knows what he's got there. And that takes us straight into this. Now we're hearing it was whittled down to 3 of 18, and one of those has dropped out, being Ben Hornby.
One of those has dropped out, yeah. He was by far the favourite. And, we'll have to see what happens with Hornby's career, because that could potentially be one that got away. If he ends up becoming a head coach in the NRL and doing well, I know that he was shortlisted last time and we picked Rowley over him. And I understand why, because the logic has been sound, right? It's not worked out with Wellens or Rowley, but I get the logic. The logic is, from what I've heard, is
cheaper.
That not necessarily just that, is that whenever an assistant in the NRL does well, what happens after 1 or 2 years?
They come over here for 2 or 3 years.
They go back.
And they go and get a job over there.
Now, and Eamon's idea apparently has been he would love a long-term, like a 6, 7, 8, 9, a decade long, he'd love a long-term coach. So I understand the reasoning, but man, if Hornby ends up being a good coach and we shot him down in favour of Rowley.
Then he's made the choice there of saying I'd rather stay at home for family reasons.
Yeah, but that's when we've missed it though. We did have a chance to get him with Rowley instead of Rowley. We've missed that boat, but I think it'll be somebody that we're not expecting, because Holbrook was nowhere near the favourite, if I remember, until very near the end, and Wolf was nowhere near the favourite until very near the end. So they were both out of left field, both Holbrook and Wolf. So I don't think it'll be any of the favourites. I mean, we all know what bookies are like with rugby league. No one who works at a bookies ever watches rugby league, because some of the odds are bizarre. Some of the odds are absolutely ridiculous. So,
do you even put Eamon O'Carroll to take over next season when we know for a fact he's going to Union?
Exactly.
I was like, why would you even put that in? They're just doing it to cause discord, really, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, no, bookies don't have a clue. Bookies don't have a clue. I mean, you've got like the bookies have got like Sculthorpe, who's never coached a day in his life at like 20 to 1 or something. Like, they don't have a clue. So I wouldn't don't look at the betting odds, because they don't have a clue, bookies. They don't care about rugby league, and the starting odds. Now, granted, as time goes on, and if people hear things and start putting money on, those lines could change. But right at this minute, I wouldn't take too much notice of it, because I remember Holbrook
all year.
Holbrook for like the first month or two was not in the top 3, 4, 5. And it was like 2 weeks before, I remember.
Yeah.
Obviously, somebody had got wind of it and started putting some money on, being a bit naughty. And then all of a sudden, he appeared as a favourite. So I think when you get to around like August, September, look at the odds then, you'll probably have a better idea. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure the other time. I've heard from a very good source that we had up to 18, 19 applications.
Errol Powell's leaked.
Yeah.
He's not leaving that job yet. He's not leaving that Wakefield job. Not a chance.
But I heard we had 18 to 19 applications as of like a few days ago. 3, they were seriously considered and shortlisted. So Hornby mustn't have been one of them, because he obviously didn't apply. They must have approached him, and he's gone nah.
Yeah.
So I don't know any details about who it could be. Not even. I'm not just saying that. So I know we don't like normally talking about like rumours without any credibility. It's not even that. It's the fact that I've generally just not heard a name from anyone, and I've been asking.
And you know what? I'm glad about it, because it's about time the club have kept things quiet, and even that little grubby little fucking Matt Shaw's not got his hands on it yet.
I'm sure he'll be the one to announce it the day before.
Oh, he has to be, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm
for whatever reason, there is somebody at Saints that seems to like Matt Shaw.
It's the only
I'm very confused. Do you know what I've noticed though? Do you know what I think it was? I mean, I know she hears things as well, but do you know what I think it might be? I think it might have been Rush, because if you noticed, he stopped breaking all our news as soon as Rush left.
Yeah.
And it's not an accusation, by the way. It's just
allegedly.
It's allegedly. And I'm not saying, and obviously there's nothing. He's not doing anything wrong technically by doing that. But I'm just wondering out loud. I wonder if it was Rush, of all people, speaking to Matt Shaw. Because I know Matt Shaw speaks to a lot of CEOs. He speaks to a lot of CEOs. So,
yeah.
There we go. We're going to get on to that. We're going to get on to that.
And do you know what? It's absolutely spot on.
We're going to get on to that. We are going to get on to that, aren't we, Gaz? Because, Jesus Christ. I mean,
love rugby league. The same thing anyway. 3 or 4 times a day.
Have you noticed they've reposted the betting odds Saints coach article 4 times as if it's a new article? They've done it with the finance. Should we go to the finance? Is it time? Should we talk about that? Is there anything else first? Or
yeah, we can do that.
I'll get stuck here. Let's get stuck into love rugby league. I mean, first of all,
that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. There we go.
I mean, first of all, people are making a massive meal out of this when they don't need to.
Yeah.
It's been given completely out of context right now. It's obviously not good, because, just about before COVID.
No, it's never good.
Just about, I think the year before COVID, we were only about $1 million loss, and we were talking about potentially making profit. And obviously what happened? COVID happened and all the loans happened. But no one makes money in rugby league. Not a single club makes a profit. Not a single club. Now, not all the finances are publicly available yet for all the clubs, but no one makes money. That's sport. A lot of Premier League clubs don't technically make money. They're covered by, I don't want to get into the complicated finances of the Premier League,
and all that stuff.
But it's all based on, having assets and building debt on assets and constantly reborrowing. That's just, it's capitalism, baby. That's how it works.
You look at how successful Man United were and the debt that they're in.
Yeah, exactly. The important thing is that you've got committed directors and benefactors, and we do. We've got Eamon Manus and Mike Coleman, who have constantly stated, through Eamon, that we know where we're at. We're still going to spend up to the cap. We are happy to cover it. We are more than happy to cover it. Now, granted, you do want to make that less than it is, and obviously, going from 1 million loss to like 3. Let's not forget though, it is almost exactly the same loss as last season, and people are reporting it like it's a big drop out of nowhere. That's what's annoyed me. People reported it like, "Oh my god, what's happened to Saints?" It's like, well, it happened last year, and none of you said anything.
Saints are falling apart again.
None of you said anything last year, so I don't know why it's news this year all of a sudden.
I think it's because of how poorly we're doing on the pitch. Just
that's what it is. Of course, that's what it is. It's the narrative, coach gone, rumours about division. There's clicks and it's all that nonsense playing on it.
Yeah,
I will say though, there's one concerning element of the finances, and that is that we have the second highest turnover in the league. So we make the second most.
We actually made profits on last year.
We are the second most. We're the second highest turnover in the league. So we shouldn't have that much loss with the second highest turnover, because the other clubs that have a turnover around us, I think Wigan and Leeds are like, I'll have to double check. I think it's Wigan and Leeds are around first and third around us. Their losses are a lot less. So that is one bit that is, if presented with context and fairly and rationally, then that is a discussion to be had. Fair enough. Yeah. The second highest turnover club should not be near the bottom in terms of losses. Of course they shouldn't be. But that's been mentioned. I did a little Google. It took me 4 seconds to find interviews with Eamon from last year and from earlier this year, talking about the finances. And basically, we have a huge expenditure in terms of like things like, I think we spend the most on staff out of any club. And we also, a lot of off the field stuff. It's not players, because that is willingly covered by the board. If we had to make cuts, we would, and we haven't.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big reason that, not to make any confirming statements about if Rush was pushed or left of his own volition and what happened. Not going to get into it, but
that's irrelevant.
But from what reading between the lines, Eamon knows that we need to cut money from things like everything that's not player. Basically, we need to be cutting money on, and that's the reason we've got a new CEO. He's only been here a couple months. Give him chance. Now next year,
he can't really do anything until season end, can he?
Yeah, next year if it's similar, if we have a really high turnover but still a big loss again, then okay, there's serious discussions to be had. But it's not like everyone else is making 20 million profit and everyone loses money in British Rugby League. It's not a profitable sport. No sport is generally profitable. Most professional sports clubs are built on a cycle of debt and borrowing. That is how it works. That is just how it works. And we don't have...
Which is why we need the NRL takeover.
We do. We absolutely do. I will say, though, it could potentially be a positive in the long run, because I know, there's always been a red line with the NRL takeover where we don't really want to give up any control. Yeah, we'd love to work with you, but we don't want to give up control. That Jones, wherever he was years ago, and now this and the current Wood has said it before. However, now that all these clubs have had 2 or 3 years, or is it 3 or 4 years post-COVID lockdowns now, and it's not going anywhere, those losses, I think this might make them go, all right, we'll give control. We'll give a bit of control up. I think this will help that NRL deal in a weird way, because there's no hiding from the fact that there's nothing. You've tried all sorts. The TV deal is another big one. I mean, we need an increase in funding.
Get me started on that.
We need a big increase in funding, because the 13th and 14th clubs, they need full central funding next year. They didn't get it this year. Remember, they only went on half of the funding. They're not going to put up with that again. They're going to rightly and legally will be able to demand that they get full funding. So I know we're not going to get into this again. What a stupid fucking idea it was to go to 14 teams, to stretch that TV money even more. I mean, not only, even with the deal we had, that stayed the same. That lessened it for everyone if it stays the same next year. But even if it goes up a little bit, that might only cover York and Toulouse.
Yeah.
So we need a big increase. It's not about a little increase now. We actually have very,
Toulouse and Catlin have to fund their own
They do no, they get central funding. They just have to fund all. Well, they didn't this year. Obviously, York. None of the promoted clubs did. York, Toulouse, Bradford. Sorry, did one of them get them as a replacement for Salford, or did all three not get it? Either 2 or 3 of them didn't get.
I think
the full
Bradford
funding.
got it, didn't they? Was it Bradford that got it.
Someone might be able to check that for us, but I think that's right. But we need a huge increase in the TV, not a little increase, because you've now got 2 extra teams to think about. So that's vital. Eamon McManus said it in the statement he put out yesterday that, which is weird because he was so in favour of 14 teams. It's like, Eamon, why are you in favour when you knew about the TV money was being stretched in? Anyway, we won't go back into that. I think
he's just admitting that it was wrong, really, in his own
maybe
way.
It was. Maybe they've realised that they've screwed up a little bit. But yeah, I've heard, and I think Matt Shaw has said this as well. I know we're not his biggest fan, but he knows stuff. Apparently, the next 2 or 3 weeks, we could be hearing about both the TV deal and the NRL deal. So it could be a huge month for our sport. In the hit, we might end up looking back in years in the future, and this might go down as one of the biggest months in the history of British Rugby League, because those 2 things. It's been widely reported that the NRL will formally table an offer this week or next week. It'll be there, and I know the TV deal is very, very close as well. Aaron Barrow, Matt Shaw, and also I think even John Davidson's also reported on that. That is very close too. So, it's a very nervy time for the sport, because as we're talking about all these losses, we need a big TV increase and we need cash coming in from the NRL. Someone raised an interesting point as well, because obviously, the NRL have really maxed out their deal with this ridiculous new deal that they got. Yeah. But obviously,
they're about raising the salary cap, aren't they? Even more. Yeah,
it's Fox as well, isn't it? Which is the main holders of all those rights. Fox, I don't know if Fox own DAZN. So I wonder, maybe not for this one because that's happened too quickly, but I wonder in the next time they do a TV deal, I wonder if Fox will want to bring us under the Fox umbrella with NRL, so they've got everything. But I think that'll
Fox UK.
I think that'll have been too quick for this one because the NRL at the moment don't. The most popular rumor I've heard from a few of the journalists and also from a few people that I speak to is, and they all say, to be fair, everyone has the caveat of, to be fair, they've done very well in keeping things quiet, so we don't really know, for sure. But I've heard that the deal might involve a new body being created, whether that sits above the RFL, under the RFL, whether it replaces the RFL. But I've heard there's going to be some sort of governing body created with half of it Super League representation, half of it NRL, and then there'll be Peter Volandis potentially as the chairman, as the deciding vote if there's ever a tie in votes. That is just something I've heard. I don't know what the body looks like. Is it a world body that governs over Super League and NRL? Is it just a Super League thing? Don't know. But I've heard that is the compromise I've heard that they were talking about in terms of giving up a bit of control, is that there'll be like a 13 board or something, 6 Super League, 6 NRL, but then Peter Volandis as your chair with his, 6 NRL, 6 Super League, but one of the 6 will be Volandis. He'll have the double vote in case of a tie. That's just something I've heard. So I wouldn't mind that, I'll be honest, if it gives us a bit of that. And they know how to promote, they know how to promote the game, because something people talk about, they always go, well, it's all well and good in Australia, but it's like, it's the biggest sport and it's dead easy to promote the game. But it's not the biggest sport everywhere in Australia. There is a huge part of Australia where the biggest sport by some distance is the AFL. And they have managed to close the gap in the last 10 years. Yeah. In those areas. Viewing figures in AFL areas almost match AFL viewing figures. Yeah.
NRL is still the third most watched. You know what I mean? A lot of people think it's number 1, but it's not.
And obviously you've got cricket as well. And then in Queensland, they've expanded obviously with the Dolphins, and they're going to be expanding more with Perth into that area. So people like to shoot down when you say they're good at marketing. Oh no, anyone could market it because it's it's the biggest sport. But in Queensland, it's not often the biggest sport. In places like Victoria and other places like that, it's not always the biggest sport. Yeah. And the viewing figures for like the viewing figures last year for the NRL for the first time beat the AFL in TV viewing figures. So they do know how to promote it against a behemoth. They do know how to promote it. Like, they know what they're doing. They really do. And not that they'll ever, close a gap on the Premier League, because not a single thing in the history of anything will ever close the gap on the Prem.
No,
but in terms of viewing figures,
him to either.
But in terms of viewing figures, I mean, I try to remember the last time. Because to be fair, our viewing figures have gone up a lot. We are doing well in terms of viewing figures. And I think was darts slightly ahead of us. We could with the NRL's help.
Darts is massive now, though, isn't it?
With the NRL's help, we can beat darts. With the NRL's help, we can beat darts easy. I'm not easy. Rugby union viewing figures, we can beat them. In fact, I think a lot of our viewing figures already do beat the domestic league. Not always, but a lot of our viewing figures do.
It's just the international in rugby union that's massive.
Yeah. So I think we could eclipse the domestic game in terms of TV viewing figures. I think we could easily with the NRL's help. So, I think there's a lot of progress that they can help us make anyway. A bit of a rant, but I think we need it to happen, and it needs to happen soon.
Yeah. And Joy, it brings it back round to the was it I can't remember his name now. John Davis. He posted like the Saints viewing thing, and one of them was a lower away gate, as in away fans coming to us. And I think it's down to all these games being put on TV now. Just put the Thursday game on, one on Friday, one on Saturday or Sunday.
No, I don't think you can ever go back from the TV. I think it's like TV viewing figures are just huge, and TV is huge in terms of making money. So I think you need it. To be fair, though, the crowds are up for most teams. Most teams in the era of all TV have actually gone up. It's only, we've gone down, and that's obviously why we've gone down.
Shite.
We've gone down because of the season we've had, and I think that probably played a part in wanting Rowley to go. But you look at on the field attendances, for the most part, for most teams last 2 years, they're going up and up and up. So I think you can keep that. The TV, the TV stuff, no one seems to know if it's staying, if it's not staying. I've heard all sorts. I've heard, they're going to go back to 3 or 4 games, and Super League Plus will get the rest. I've heard, no, it's definitely staying with all the games. I've heard that we might be putting 1 game a week on like a free TV. I've heard everything. And so I don't think any of it's true, because I think everyone's just guessing. I think everyone's just guessing.
It's looking like that's part of a new broadcast deal, doesn't it? Where there's less games going on TV.
But the last thing I heard, though, was that Sky wanted to keep all the games because they like the fact they like the fact that they have a monopoly on rugby league. Don't forget, they have the rights.
What they need to do is improve the bloody presentation of it.
They do, absolutely. But don't forget as well on that last point, I don't know if they do this year, but for years, Sky had the rights to the championship and never showed it. There was a few years where they showed a Monday night game.
They showed the Summer Bash, didn't they? And that was it.
Yeah, and they used to have Monday night, so you'd have your Super League Friday to Sunday, and then you'd have a Monday game in the championship. But they've gone years paying for the championship and not showing it. They love the fact that they control rugby league. That's what they're like, Sky. They want a monopoly and everything. It's only because of all these different competition laws and monopoly laws. If it wasn't for that, they'd still have all of football, like they were on the way to doing in the early 2000s. It's only because of the government forcing them to not have all of it. But I think they'll keep it. I think they want to keep it. Absolutely. I think they want to keep all the games. And if they don't, then that just frees up potentially a bit more money, just, to potentially go to Super League Plus. So I think either way they'll all be on. They'll all be shown, but maybe Super League Plus picks up a few games as well. Because I know the RFL, that's absolutely a thing that the clubs want. They want the games on TV. I know that. That's several of the CEOs have said that. So I would rather it not go to Super League Plus, because talk about bad coverage. Talk about bad coverage, guys. Hey, Sky is a lot better than fucking Super League Plus. That is awful.
A job never put Super League Plus on.
I've watched it for a few games.
Exactly this, mate. Yeah.
What they need to do better is the scheduling as well. That's a very good point as well. That's a very, very good point. But They need to be better with the scheduling. There's no point showing every game if 3 games are kicking off at the same time. What is the point?
Like look at the NRL, they never overlap. It's always like one game, another game, then another game, then another game.
Because that's going to cost us TV viewing figures.
Yeah.
Because if you had every game, like you said, on a separate time, the viewing figures go up because rugby league fans in general don't have to go. We'll watch every game. Loads of us will watch every game, but we can't. So they need to sort the scheduling out. We had what was it last week? We had 3 games on a Friday, then 1 on Sunday. I was like,
yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? It doesn't make any sense to me. So we need to be using Saturday and Sundays more, and maybe if 2 games clash, if 2 games clash on a Friday night, because you can't really do anything other than
you can't ladder them, can you?
So, but 3 on a Friday, and then we need to get away from
3 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we need to sort because that is costing us tens upon tens of thousands of viewers for some of these games. So that needs to be sorted out. And I'm surprised Sky haven't insisted on that, to be honest. I thought they'd put pressure on us because that just hurts them. They're the ones that want these viewing figures. So I hope they sort that out, and it's better than it used to be, because it used to be like almost every single game on a Friday night and 1 on a Sunday, or whatever. It is better, but there's a way to go with the scheduling. Yeah, Channel 4's was good. The only problem is they didn't pay us any money to show it. Yeah, that was the only problem.
It helped. They actually got a fan of the game in Adam Hills. You know what I mean? He's good at he's a good presenter, and he loves the game. And the punditry is better as well.
It was great.
It's where more guys start, really, wasn't it?
It was miles better. Unfortunately, we just didn't make any money from it. They weren't paying us anything. So, it was a silly deal to really go into in the first place. But I would love if we could teleport them all to Sky. That'd be great. Sky the Bills on Sky.
That'd be even better.
BBC as well. That deal. I mean, how many games have they even been on BBC this year? Like 3. There's barely been any. It's very odd.
Which ones are on there now.
At least Channel 4 had they didn't have every week, obviously, but they had a lot more than BBC. I'm sure maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I think in my memory they had a lot more than BBC have had this year anyway. So I'm talking about Super League as well. I know they have the Challenge Cup, but they've had the odd Super League game where they dual cast it.
They couldn't give a rat's ass about rugby league or BBC, could they? Let's be honest.
Not at all.
That's been gone for years on the.
Yeah, it's true.
Like this. I mean, what are we making of this, Ben?
It's not a surprise, is it? I also saw an injury table. Some poor fella, why he's gone to this effort, Super League injuries on Twitter, whatever he's called, has done a table of every club's injuries. So in terms of the amount of weeks for all players combined, and then the amount of players. Do you want to know where we are in that table?
Go on.
We are second in the injury table. One injury behind Bradford.
Yeah.
And then there's a gap. So us and Bradford have had by far the most injuries this year in terms of weeks.
Wigan are only 2 behind us in terms of amount of players. They've had 36 players out there.
In terms of injuries, though, they're near the bottom of the table. They've had the best luck. They've had the second least amount of injuries. The problem with Wigan is it's good players that they've missed. It's like the best players they've missed. But if you actually look at how many weeks and the amount of players, Wigan are second last. Wigan are second last.
I think it would have been
Crimea River.
I think Leeds have been the luckiest, aren't they? Up until this weekend.
Well done. Yeah, well done. Leeds have the least amount of injuries in terms of players and weeks. Yeah, by some distance as well. So so Wigan fans can shut up crying. It's like you've had 2 bad months of your best players missing. Yeah, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. Shut up.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean those kids they've brought through have been unreal, haven't they?
Yeah, and it's not exactly like
credit where it's due.
It's not exactly like they're bringing some real like plodders that poor Wigan they have to play young player of the years and all this stuff. Give me a break. Like give me a break. You're fine. Anyway. Just calm down, Wigan fans.
Yeah. So, predictions, Ben.
Yes.
Me and you are identical by the looks of it. Tom has been very brave and gone with Lee. I can understand it, but I think Wigan will have too much there.
I respect him. He is very brave. Is our Tom? He is very brave. I think there's some. I think there's some there's quite a few close competitive games this week. So there's just a few. I think like maybe St York, it might be one. It might be a real close one.
Yeah.
But other than that, I actually, I think they're all quite straightforward.
Yeah,
most of them this week.
I think the hardest one to call is Wigan and League. Like, that's the hardest one to call, I think.
Possibly. Lee do tend to roll over for Wigan a lot. They've got a horrendous record against them in Super League. So that's why I went for Wigan. But wouldn't be a surprise.
Castleford to beat Warrington, Tom. I mean, neither of us can stand Warrington, but that's.
I'll tell you what.
If it comes off,
I'll tell you what, I'm going to say he's a genius if it comes off, Gaz, to be fair.
No one got anywhere without taking risks.
Exactly.
Oh, right. Have a little nosy through here, see if there's anything, any news breaking on. You just know for a fact that as soon as we come off here, something's going to happen. Surprised it didn't happen last week.
Yeah, exactly. You're just waiting. An hour from now, keep your Twitter open, guys, in the next hour, because some breaking news will probably come out because we always miss it. So,
yeah.
Keep
like
scrolling.
Last week, we were glad it got announced in the morning because it gave us something to talk about. So I don't think we had much going on last week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it did.
I mean, it's typical though, isn't it? That's the problem when you do this thing. You come on here, try and keep as late as possible in the week to put news out there, and then out of nowhere something comes.
Exactly.
Tell you what, I will bring in. So I was at the Open Trading Day today, and as I mentioned last week, I was interviewing some of the players, and do you know what? I really want to thank Tom, the head of media and content at Saints, and the club itself.
Awesome guy.
For giving us that opportunity, though, because it does mean a lot. And the players are all really welcoming. They gave time, they spoke properly to us. And you got some of the young lads who aren't used to speaking in front of a camera at the minute, and they're quiet, and it's understandable, but it's helping them out a little bit.
Yeah, well, that helps them. Yeah, that's a really great little opportunity for them. So, helping each other out there, which is nice.
Yeah, I think the ones who speak the best, actually, believe it or not, one was George Whitby, which we've seen in his interviews. He can do it.
Yeah.
And Jackson Hastings.
Yeah, Jackson is a good talker. He's a very confident lad, isn't he? To put it mildly, he's a confident lad.
I'm almost done editing that and putting it all together. So once that's done, it'll be up there on YouTube.
So make sure you check it out, guys. Make sure.
Yeah. I was trying to think, what was it? Yeah. So one of the questions they asked was, who's the biggest wind-up merchant? And two names cropped up more than anyone else. And ironically, I interviewed the pair of them together because I thought it'd be perfect. That's Matt Whitley and Tristan Saylor.
Very good. Yeah. Very, very good.
So there we go. Right. I think that's it, Ben, because I'm not finding anything. No,
I just grabbed my phone then. That's why I was just grabbing my phone. Nothing massive that's worth talking about, really.
Yeah.
Other than that's anyone who's going on Saturday, hope you enjoy it. I unfortunately had to pull out again. There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. I'm very gutted, very, very gutted, because I had that planned for a while, but now I can't go. So make sure whoever is going has plenty of drinks on my behalf and enjoys the.
I think a lot of people are staying over as well, myself included. So it's going to be an interesting. And at least if I get too drunk to remember the game, at least you can put the pieces together.
I'm chomping at the bit at the moment because I couldn't go to Wigan. I don't think I've missed 2 games in a row in years. Genuinely, I think it's been years. So I'm literally like must have Saints game. So hopefully get to the next one. Obviously, it's Hull next week on Thursday, isn't it, as well?
Oh,
yes.
That's a reminder, Ben.
With a reminder, I've done well there.
Yeah. So we will not be live next week with the game being on the Thursday. We're going to pre-record Wednesday, and it'll be uploaded on the Thursday. So that's the unfortunate thing with these Thursday games, and it's kind of our fault for picking Thursday nights, but can't do Fridays because most games are on Fridays anyway, and we're busy weekends. So
that's it.
That's the best we can do. But really appreciate everyone coming in. No, it means a lot. People giving us their thoughts in the comments. Do more of it. We enjoy it. And we will see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Cheers.
In that number,